NFL Week 11 best bets are on the way. We go through every single game on Sunday and Monday Night Football. Give you our favorite spread, total, money line, you name it. That is the name of the game in this video. It is Austin, joined by Logan. I'm looking forward to another great week with you, Logan. But as always, we must begin recapping how we did last week. Hey, you had a solid week, 7-6, betting only spreads. You gave up on totals in a winning week. Not a surprise there. I went 5-8 though on the season. You see our numbers on the screen. Worth noting, last week, Logan and I, if we had the identical pick, 0-4. That included picks like the Colts, Jets, Bears, and Rams. 4 picks that I'd argue never even had a chance at cashing. So, hey, if we're Logan and I are on the same side going forward, you probably should fade that pick. But either way, maybe we'll bounce back this week in terms of our collab picks. But I did want to bring up something that Logan and I were talking about pre-show. We went back and we're trying to find our long shot parlay, and I'll throw it up on the screen. We picked 4 season award winners. And we thought this was like 4 weeks ago. We were trying to find the slip. It was actually in week 9. So just 2 weeks ago, Logan and I came together and combined on this parlay, gave it out in this video. Kirk Cousins to win most improved player. That's looking pretty good. Jaden Daniels to win rookie of the year is looking pretty good. And then we have Lamar Jackson MVP, who's in arguably, if Lamar Jackson and the Steelers or Ravens beat the Steelers this week, that is going to look really good. And then TJ Watt to win a DPOY. So, hey, looking pretty good. If you were to combine those legs, Logan, right now, plus 600. So, hey, great CLV. We need the guys to take us home in these final 8 weeks. But, Logan, people came here for some winners. Let's dive in the games. We've got nothing else to talk about. We'll start with that big game, the Ravens on the road in Pittsburgh. Obviously, a big game. The winner of this game will take the lead in the AFC North. Right now, the Ravens are 3-point favorites. Over under at 48.5. What are you looking at in this big-time game in Pittsburgh?
Again, as kind of we talked about last week, I'm just going to stick with spreads and money lines because I just like picking sides. I don't even want to look at the total. Just block that off the screen for me. I like Pittsburgh plus the 3 points. Again, if you want to sprinkle on the money line, I think the value is certainly there. I could see them winning this game outright, but I do like the Steelers a lot in this spot. One of my more favorite picks on the week. I just look at how these two teams match up. Up front, physical, the Steelers have the defensive line to be able to really limit Derrick Henry and the rushing game Lamar can pose. Also worth noting, Mike Tomlin kind of has the number for Baltimore. Even when the Steelers haven't been at full strength in years past, he just always seems to be able to win games against the Ravens. It's what he does. I don't think this one's going to be any different. Also worth noting, I just don't think the Baltimore secondary is all that good. I think they can easily be exposed if Kyle Hamilton doesn't play. Once again, that's a big loss for the Ravens secondary against, kind of against a passing attack with the Steelers led by Russell Wilson. He looks good. I mean, to say what you want about Russell Wilson, that was a genius move from Tomlin to go to Russ, and him and Pickens, that connection's been absolutely lethal. I love the Steelers a lot in this spot.
I lean the Steelers with you as well, but I know I can't tell you exactly here or else that's cooked. I actually kind of like the under. Last Pittsburgh game versus the Commanders, I like the under, and that one obviously lost. I got to go back to it. I think the Steelers defense is obviously still one of the most elite units in the league. Obviously this Ravens offense has been a juggernaut, but still, as you kind of talked about, they've struggled a little bit versus the Steelers, and I think that Steelers defensive front will be able to get home while playing a lot of guys back. Be able to stop the run too. I think they'll put in Lamar Jackson in some tough spots where maybe he's trying to scramble and he just won't be able to get away from the D-line of the Steelers. On the other side, I'm going to need the Ravens defense to show up. They've been a defensive unit that, sure, you have question marks. Kyle Hamilton, we'll see if he plays, but I think Russell Wilson is due one of those not great games. He's been really, really good. But I think this maybe is a week. Maybe they don't convert as well in the red zone. We see a lot more field goals. These are 2 AFC North teams normally known for their defense. So I'll take the under here. I think there's more field goals in this game. There might be a little bit of jitters given how big this game is. We might see a little bit more field goals instead of trying to go for it in 4th down. So give me the under. That's a high total for a Ravens and Steelers game, sitting in the 48s. That's crazy. I'll take the under. Next game, though, Logan, we're going to keep things moving. We have the Packers going to face the Bears. Logan, both and I, you are wearing your Panthers jersey or shirt, polo. I'm wearing Jets polo. Bears are right in that conversation of teams that are terrible. And I'm proud of your Panthers. They won 2 in a row, but geez, the Bears here, we'll see. They just fired their offensive coordinator. We'll see if maybe that triggers into anything, but they are getting 6.5 points at home. Bears, wow. Over under 41, Logan. What are you doing here? Think the Bears can bounce back after one of the worst offensive games I've ever seen from them in week 10? What do you think here?
Yeah, it's really hard to get the taste out of our mouth because that was just a disgusting spot for the Bears to come out flat like that. It's really, really tough to lay the points with the Packers on the road in this divisional game, though. Like, I have a few rules when betting NFL. Like, don't if a number's pretty big on the road, especially against a team that looked so bad last week, that could be a little bit trappy. So I hate it. Against my best judgment, I'll take Chicago with the points. Again, what we saw last week was like actually worst case scenario. I mean, Caleb Williams was sacked how many times?
9.
Like nine times exactly. So I mean, it's just that offensive line was just not. They were just not prepared for that test. Again, against Green Bay, I think they can have a little bit easier time in the passing game as well. Just go back to simple basics, right? Go back to maybe a few checkdowns, maybe Keenan, get DJ Moore involved in the short intermediate passing game. Don't make Caleb Williams have to scramble around, take deep dropbacks in the pocket. For some reason, I'm looking at this game and I'm just thinking Chicago's going to shock a lot of people. They'll play competitive. I don't think Green Bay is necessarily a lock in that one.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Definitely. I mean, Packers MLs in every money line parlay on Sunday. And if you're cooking yours up while you're watching this, you know you already put it in there. And while I'm not saying the Bears come out here and win that game, but God, I mean, this is definitely the sharp spot is to be on the Bears. I was looking at their team total, sitting at 16.5. That's appetizing, given they've gone under in 3 straight. Oh man, I really don't like this game, but I will take. I'll take the Packers team total under. I'll take it. It's kind of in the same breath with you, Logan. I don't think if they're clearing this line, which I'm looking at, you can get a 20. I'll do 23.5. 24.5 is too juiced. I'll do 23.5 Packers team total. They're obviously coming off their bye. Jordan Love still, nursing probably an injury in there, but I think that if they're going to have any chance, Bears +6, if that is any chance of covering, there can't be 24 plus points on the scoreboard for the Packers. So I will take the team total under there. I agree with you. I think the Bears are the sharper spot to be in, but I just can't get there with Caleb Williams. Instead, I'll ask the defense to show up, which obviously didn't. It would look decent last week, give them 19. But that's an interesting game. We'll see how that one goes. The next game we're going to talk about is the Vikings on the road to take on the Titans. Logan and I always talk pre-show. We don't talk about what we lean, but we just ask ourselves, can we please take the Titans off the TV? Thankfully, they're in the 1 o'clock window, so there's so many other games to watch besides this one. Vikings in the same breath, they looked terrible last week. If you had to sit back and watch the Vikings-Jaguars game, I'm sorry for you. You probably don't want to watch another NFL game for the rest of your life. But either way, Vikings laying 6 points on the road versus the Titans. I'm going to take the Vikings. I'll take them. Do I like it? No. But I think the Titans are one of the worst teams in the world. They suck. They are so bad. And while the Vikings, I think they're the best team in the world. But I think that their offense will be able to figure something out. And ultimately, Brian Flores, what does he want to do? He just wants to blitz you. And I don't know if Will Levis, if you put a guy in his face, what the heck's going to happen? You're going to see a meme probably this week of Will Levis doing something stupid. It could lead to multiple turnovers. So it's square. I'll take the Vikings. I hate it, but I'll take them minus the 6. But Logan, what do you like here?
Yeah, this one's cooked. It's straight cooked. I like the Vikings as well. Yep, go ahead. Chalk one up for the squares. I cannot get there at all with Tennessee. Again, I don't love laying big numbers with road teams in the NFL. It's a tough spot. But we saw worst case scenario again for Minnesota last week. How do you win a game just kicking field goals like that? I mean, they got lucky they played the Jags. There's no other way to say it. I mean, Jags are in that bottom barrel of teams. Good thing for them is they're playing the Titans, which are bottom of the barrel type team. Look, Will Levis is just not that guy. I mean, they got to figure something out at the quarterback position. This is obviously they're assessing what they have with Will Levis. I mean, outside of like Calvin Ridley too, they just don't have the offensive firepower to be able to compete with Minnesota when Minnesota's actually executing their game plan. And they will. They'll do a better job of that. Week to week, this is why the NFL is sometimes hard to bet, because these teams look different week to week. I think we saw the absolute worst version of Minnesota's offense last week. We're going to see a better version of them, and I do think the Vikings win this game and cover.
Yeah, absolutely. I could use a nice Calvin Ridley week. He's had a couple of straight good weeks. If you don't know, I have a future on him to go over 850.5 yards and to get to 1,000. That looked absolutely cooked after the first 6 weeks. He had multiple goose eggs, but he's putting together some good weeks. This technically would be a good week for him because the Vikings aren't the greatest secondary. They blitz a lot, so you get man on man. I bet you Calvin Ridley, Logan, I don't have this prop. Over 7.5 targets. I don't know what is a target line. I'm not saying receptions, targets. They'll just be hiking. It'll be in his face. He'll be launching it to him. Next game, I hate this one. Speaking of the Jaguars, they're nearly getting 2 touchdowns on the road in Detroit. Jared Goff coming off his 5 interception game. They still pulled out a victory. I don't know how anyone can get there with Jacksonville plus 13. 13 is such a huge number, though, Logan. I'll let you take things away. Let's try to get out of this game as fast as possible.
Yeah, after watching Detroit last week, how do you bet against this team? I mean, damn. When you throw 5 interceptions, you're not supposed to win that game. And they did that. I'll take Detroit and I'll lay all the points. In the NFL, if I see monster spreads, I don't try to get cute. I don't try to take the other side. I'll just take Detroit. They are a juggernaut right now. They are a team on a mission. They play flawless football on both sides of the ball. And even if they don't play flawless football, they still find a way to win, and that's what they're going to do once again this weekend.
Yeah, no, I love the pick. I was just trying to find out what the Jaguars team total under is. That is what I'm trying to find, but it's not loading for me. That'll be the pick that I'm going to go with. You can't set it low enough for me. I really don't care. If it's Mac Jones, if it's Trevor Lawrence out there, I don't think it matters. The Jaguars offense is terrible. And the Lions defense has actually been pretty good. Obviously, the offense didn't help them out last week, but they still figured they didn't give up a single point in the second half. They looked pretty solid. They'll be able to get to the quarterback. So I'll take Jags team total under. I just found it 16.5. Sure, if they score 17. I tried to get sharp taking a Titans team total under against the Lions. They score like 10 early, didn't get another point. So I'll take the team total under there. You probably will get like 35 rush attempts from the Lions in that game. Our next game, though, let's move to a fun one. Oh, God, not fun. The New York Jets. We have slides on the screen. I just clicked them, and that's how we go through them. New York Jets playing host to the Indianapolis Colts. Joe Flacco revenge game. Jets laying 4. Over under 44. Logan, oh, God. If you told me 10 weeks in the Jets would have the same record as the Panthers, I'd probably want to throw something. But here we are, and it's not. I don't know if that's a good thing for you. You're 3-7, but hey, whatever. I already had my pick ready for this one. I'm on the Jets team total under 24.5. I'm not betting on the Jets. I'm not fading them in terms of betting the Colts, although that's probably where I would put my money if I had to bet anything. I'm taking the Jets team total under 24.5. We can't score in the red zone. We get down there. We can't do it. We can't run it in. We try to throw it to Devontae Adams. He drops it or someone tips it, and it's just cooked. I'm taking their team total under until they figure it out. The Jets, I don't know, over the last, at least the last 2 games, we played one good half. That was against the Texans in that second half. Other than that, we have sucked. We have not played any good halves. We are just not a good team. And the books will keep pricing us as favorites because they think, the Jets are decent. No, the team is dead. We suck. And I just don't think we're scoring 25 points. If we do, I'll be happy probably. But give me the Jets team total under 24.5. Logan, just tell your Colts plus 4.5 so we can keep moving.
Yeah, well, I have one question for you though before I pick this one. Can you run on the Jets defense?
You can pretty much do anything these days on the Jets. I mean, you would have thought you couldn't run, and then James Conner, Amari DiMercado had big days. I don't know what the hell the Jets are good at stopping. I don't think they're good at stopping anything. The team's cooked. And Sauce Gardner, he looks like me trying to tackle guys. Some people say he's no longer Sauce. He's Ahmad Gardner, and I honestly support it.
And for that reason, thank you for proving my case. I will take the Colts plus the points. The Jets, I'm tired of taking them. I'm tired of losing coin on them. We're just trying to get cute with them, thinking this is the spot they break out. Sometimes a good on paper team just doesn't play well. For some reason, this Jets team just doesn't play well. A lot is their defense. Their defensive breakdowns are incredible to watch. Just hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor, Colts. Get in, get out of this game, potentially with a win. At bare minimum, a cover. I like the Colts plus the points in this one. I'm not going to overcomplicate that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I meant to check on Jonathan Taylor. I swear at halftime last week he had 104 yards. I don't think he got any more yards after halftime. I mean, you have him in fantasy football. I don't know if he had like 8 carries for no yards, but I was like, I swear he had 100, and then did nothing in the second half. Granted, they were trailing. But next game, we have the Patriots coming off a W, hosting the Los Angeles Rams, who are coming off a loss on Monday Night Football. The Rams are -5. The over-under at 44. I'm going to actually take the over in this game, Logan. Looking at this total, I don't know why the heck it's at 44. You would have expected this to be in like the 39.5 to 40.5. The fact is at 44. That's all I need to see. That makes me think this is a higher scoring game. I think Drake May, if you want a free prop, take his over in rush yards. I will probably be on that. I won't lie to you. I don't post the props until later on Saturday, Friday afternoon. I'll probably be on Drake May rush yards. Everyone was on it last week. He ended like 4 yards short. This is a Rams team that is great at getting pressure. We saw them do the Tua. Look, Drake May will be running for his life, but I think that actually translates to some points here. He should be able to make some plays with his legs. And so I really like the over here. I think the Rams offense bounces back after whatever I watched last week. Patriots defense is coming in here on a high that, hey, we had 9 sacks. No, that was Caleb Williams and the Bears. They stink. The Rams are a capable offense. We'll see Matthew Stafford probably throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns here. Give me the over. But Logan, what do you like here?
I do like the over, but again, swore off totals for a hot minute there. So when I'm looking at these two teams, I'm just looking at a Rams team that their offensive line really broke down against Miami. The people were getting home any shots on Stafford they wanted. The Patriots have a good defensive front. The Patriots play solid defense. I mean, say what you want about the bad Bears last week. They still held a home team to just 3 points in a whole entire 4 quarters. I mean, that's kind of incredible. Because of that, I will take the Patriots with the points in this one. I like the Patriots in this spot. I just think they're going to play. They're going to hang around. I think this one is more of a 1 possession field goal type game, or even 3 or 4 point. I could see like a weird 4 point, Rams win, which the books would absolutely love. They love when the favorites don't cover on the 1 point like that. So I do like the Patriots though in the spot. I think they're playing better football, and we needed to see that. Drake May is looking solid, connecting with guys like Jalen Polk. Get guys like that involved in the offense. You'll go places.
Yeah, should be a pretty good game there. Next one, we have the Raiders on the road in Miami to take on the Dolphins. Miami, obviously coming off the win on Monday Night Football. Raiders are catching 7.5 points. The over-under at 44. I'll be on an underdog here. I'll be on the Raiders. I think the Dolphins coming in here on their high horse, coming off a big victory. You have the rest advantage going towards the Raiders. They are a West Coast team coming east, but I'm not too worried about it. Dolphins will figure out a way to not cover that line. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I'll take the Raiders plus that rest advantage, plus Miami, even on a shorter week. I think the Dolphins, they're never a team I want to back and give a bunch of points. So I will take the Raiders. It might be ugly, but I think it's a winner. I'll take Raiders plus 7.5. But Logan, what do you like here? I know you got to pick one side. Are you riding with me or fading me?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the second time we are on the same side has come. I'm with the Raiders with the points. This was pretty predictable. Actually, we're looking at the spread. I'm kind of wondering why the Raiders aren't catching more points. I mean, Dolphins look great on Monday. I mean, why wouldn't we just lay all the points with the Dolphins? No chance they come out flat, right? I think there's definitely a chance they come out flat. Maybe play with their food a little bit too much in this one. I like the Raiders. They have offensive weapons. Get Brock Bowers involved. That seems to work. I just think somehow, some way, Miami is going to get in their own way in this one. It's something about him, man. There's something about him. I think he'll make a mistake or two. We saw him kind of get away with a few of those mistakes in that Monday night game. Can the Raiders capitalize on that? Well, just run the ball, Raiders. You run the ball, you'll keep this game tight. I think they can do that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Next game, we have the Jameis Winston's return to New Orleans as the Browns take on the Saints. This is a pick 'em. Basically, Saints are minus 115, Browns are minus 105, over under at 44.5. I go either way here, Logan. I have a slight lean towards one side, but I'm going to let you lead things off with this game. Where's your head at? You think Jameis can come back to New Orleans and get a W?
Yeah, can he eat the W? Can he do it? Yeah,
Hope so.
I hope so too, because I'm on the Browns. I think the Browns win this game. Weirdly enough, we both agree. I think we both kind of saw eye to eye that the Saints were a sharp spot last week, and sure enough, I mean that was a sharp spot. Again, that was a divisional game, so I kind of saw that one coming. This isn't a divisional game. I think the Browns match up really well against the Saints. I think they have the running game to be able to just kind of control clock. I've seen teams really all season long be able to run on the Saints, something that in years past you couldn't really do. I think the Saints defense is a shell of its former self. The secondary is not great. And what I do know is that offensively it was a little fluky last week. Let's be honest. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, do we think he's going to do that again? I'd argue no. I mean, just come back down to earth party. So they got a ton of explosive plays from MVS in that one. The Browns defensive backs are elite. They will be able to shut that down. Give me Cleveland.
No, I like that pick. I'm getting in my bag here, a little first half under at 22 and a half.
Yeah.
If you've been tailing my first half unders recently, we've gone 2-0 the last 2 weeks. Now, normally that's been in Eagles games. They're on Thursday, which Logan and I will talk about that game later in life, or well, technically before this, but you get what I mean. We don't talk about that one in this game. I like the first half under here. The Browns have a bye week. They've had more time to prepare. They're also coming off that game versus the Chargers where they played good defense in the second half. The first half, they just gave up a lot of deep plays. And while the Saints offense, sure, they connected on some of the MVS last week, the passing attack is not great. And so Alvin Kamara is probably going to have to carry the load. I think this is two offenses that want to run the football. I think they have success running the football against the respective defensive lines. So I think you'll see a lot of longer drives here, kind of choking up and milking out that clock in that first half. I'll take the first half under at 22 and a half. I just have no faith in either of these two QBs, Derek Carr or Jameis Winston, to convert when you get to the red zone. We could see a mistake, an interception. We could see them just get nervous and throw it out of bounds. I just don't have any faith in them scoring touchdowns. So it's just how you lose a first half under. You have to get cooked with touchdowns. I don't see it. You basically need 3 touchdowns to ruin me. I don't think there's 3 in the first half. So I'll take the first half under at 22 and a half. Getting in my bag for another first half, hopefully under winner. We move to the 4 o'clock slate, Logan. The Seahawks are on the road in Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. 49ers getting healthy. CMC back. Had a pretty big week last week. They came off with a win. Jake Moody. I know a lot of 49ers fans aren't very happy with you right now, but hey, you won the game, made the field goal. That's all that matters. 6.5 points, though, in a divisional game. Where's your head at, Logan?
Yeah, I was on Niners last week. They made a lot of mistakes in that game and kind of got lucky to come out with a win against Tampa Bay. Coming back home in this spot, though, I do like the Niners, and I'll lay all the points. A little bit of a square spot again. I know it's a divisional game. Seems like Seattle's catching a lot of points. I really think the addition back of Christian McCaffrey will make the difference in this one. I know, scorching hot take. The Niners are better with CMC. Who would have thought? But yes, getting guys like George Kittle involved. I like using Ricky Pearsall. I mean, shout out former Florida Gator Pearsall. I like that they're using him a lot. That Niners defense didn't really play all that great against Baker. Again, they made a few plays when they needed to, right? I saw Bosa get stiff-armed by Baker on that fourth down. That was crazy. But I just think they're gonna play better this week against Geno. This is a team that they know how to game plan against. Is my point. I mean, they've seen Seattle before. They know what Seattle wants to do offensively. Seattle still, I'm guessing, a little bit banged up too. Is DK is he back anytime soon?
I'd assume he's back this week.
Okay. Well,
he's questionable. Said that he expects to practice Wednesday.
Okay. Still Niners for me.
I'll be a Niners team total over 27.5.
Wow.
This is just, and normally I have historically bad track record taking team totals this high, so keep that with a grain of salt, please. But as Logan said, this has just been a team that has struggled to stop this 49ers offense. Last 3 games, 36, 28, 31 points. I'm not sure I'll be on a CMC line, but don't be surprised if I'm on a CMC rushing plus receiving yards line. Last week, as Logan kind of pointed out, 49ers, how many yards did they have? They had so many yards. They just went up and down the field on the Buccaneers, and granted, that's a different defense. The Buccaneers are, not a great defense. They're pretty banged up. But last week, I know Brock Purdy threw for 353, and as a team, they had over 400 yards. And typically that equates to more than 23 points, but obviously when you miss some field goals, you're going to lose there. And they settled for a lot more field goals than I'm used to. I'm not confident in the Seahawks defense getting off the field. I also like about the Seahawks, they throw the ball like every possession. When they get down, running it, never heard of it. So they just throw it nonstop. And so when you're throwing it, you lead to some short drives. You get the 49ers back on the field. I like their team total over 27.5. Next game, Logan, we have the Falcons on the road taking on the Denver Broncos. 2 teams coming off losses. Broncos, much more tragic as they should have beat the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, but there's some magic going on in Kansas City. We're not going to talk about that here. We'll talk about them actually in the next game as they have a big game against the Bills. Falcons coming off a bad loss though. I don't know what to do with this game, so I'm going to let you take things over, Logan. What do you feel here?
Yeah, I'm feeling this is one of my more actually confident picks. So take that with a grain of salt. I think Denver wins this game. I think they win. I think they cover. I'll lay the points with the Broncos. I think a little skid is coming for the Falcons, and it's not because I think they're a bad team. It's just I think the law of averages happen. I mean they got kind of lucky winning some of the games earlier in the season. The NFL is a funny league. It has its way of evening itself out. And I'd argue the Broncos should have won last week. I was on the Broncos plus all the points. I said that was way too many for a divisional game. Oof, they had it right there. They really did have that win. Now playing back in Denver, this is a spot I like them. If this was in Atlanta, I might rethink this whole entire game. But playing in Mile High Stadium, that definitely gives them an advantage. And I think this Falcons team's a little bit soft defensively. I'll come out and say it. I think Denver will be able to run the ball. I like the fact that they're using Audric Estime as well. This was one of their talented, young guys that they just didn't use. They used a whole lot of Javonte. Well, Javonte's not an RB1. He's a complimentary back. You have to use Audric Estime. And I think Denver uses him. I think they absolutely chew the heck out of that clock. Don't even let Kirk Cousins have all the possessions. I like Denver a lot in that spot.
I hate to do this. I'm on the Broncos as well.
No,
I hate it. I hate it. But for the reasons you said, the Broncos, I like their team. And I think this more so comes down to their defense. I really like their defense, one of the better units in the league. And the Falcons defense just has not gotten there for me. They just don't. They get stops when they need to, but they just, I don't know. They just struggle in some capacities, like stopping the run. And really, Bo Nix this whole season, he's really not had a run game to work with all this game. I think the only game they ran pretty consistently was against the Saints on that Thursday night football game. But coming off that demoralizing loss in Kansas City, I think they come back here at home and get a victory. I think the fact you're getting the Falcons at a discount, you can get them at plus money. I don't think that pays out. I think Kirk Cousins throws 1 or 2 interceptions here. I think it's a tough spot for the Falcons to move the football. They're going to have to lean on their running backs, and I just don't know if they're going to get the job done. So I like the Broncos -2.5. I'll join you, Logan. If collab plays suck this week, I will never join you on another pick. I'll be out.
Sure.
But hey, we'll roll with that one. Next one, we have arguably the game of the week. As an undefeated Kansas City Chiefs head out to Orchard Park, New York, to take on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are -2.5. You're getting Patrick Mahomes at plus chicky. You know what I say about getting Patrick Mahomes at plus money. But I'll let you lead things off, Logan.
No. You got to go first. You go
Dang
first.
It. All right. Oh, man. Chiefs +2.5. Okay. I don't care. I know the sharp spot is to be on the Bills. And I know there's already comments down below. #1 Bills hater. Yeah, well, I have to stand on business. I have to keep doing it. It hasn't looked good the last few weeks. Leave me alone. If you're this far in the video, like 25 minutes, I appreciate you. I'm sorry I keep trashing the Bills. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they won. But I'm taking the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I don't know what the heck they're doing. They figure things out. And their defense is elite. I don't care. Bills might try to be fake sharp. Count me out. Patrick Mahomes plus money. No, I don't even want the +2.5. Give me the money line. Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs. That's another winner. We're going undefeated. Logan, what do you like here? I know you like Bills, so I'll just put the graphic up.
Yeah, well, I just wanted you to go first because I was fading whatever's coming out of your mouth.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take Bills. I'll lay the points with the Bills. Yeah, sure. I mean, look, the whole Kansas City skating by narrative, that's exhausted, right? This team just finds a way to win. We know that. Patrick Mahomes a plus value. That narrative is also exhausted. The books sometimes trick people into being fake sharp against the Chiefs and say, why are the Chiefs plus money? Like, surely that doesn't pay out. It pays out a lot, actually. Not in this spot, though. This is a spot this is the Bills' mini Super Bowl within the regular season. You get a shot at home to knock off the undefeated Chiefs. They're going to pull out every stop they can in this one. I just see it coming. We've talked all season long. Chiefs are not explosive offensively. If the Chiefs are winning games, they're winning it ugly. It's low-scoring, ugly games. Well, the Bills' offense has been able to kind of, get into form. What they did last week against the Colts on the road, extremely impressive to me. I'll call it what it is. That was a short spread that I thought was a little bit trappy against the Bills. Yeah, I bet against the Bills. Flat out wrong. I'm not betting against the Bills in this spot. Give me the Bills. I'll lay the points.
Okay, we'll see how that one goes. The NFL needs that game to be good because you have the other 4 o'clock games are all right. They basically have loaded all the eggs into one basket, and that is the Chiefs-Bills being a good game. Better hope it's a good one. I think it will be. Finally, we get to Sunday Night Football. The Bengals taking on the Chargers. If I'm not mistaken, this game was flexed to Sunday Night Football. And I think the Jets were actually the team in Sunday night. I'm not really 100% sure. They probably were. Jets-Colts was probably a Sunday Night Football game. Thank God they changed that one because I don't need more primetime Jets. But right now you get the Chargers basically in a pick up -125, over under 47.5. I'll roll with the Chargers, hometown team. I think the Bengals can't get out of their own way. They figure out ways to lose. And I really think this game comes down to coaching. And I like Harbaugh 10x more than Taylor. I mean, this is a Chargers team. They don't get enough credit. They didn't do anything this offseason. If anything, they lost a lot of guys. They lost Mike Williams, lost Keenan Allen. Everyone doubted them. All they did was really bring in like J.K. Dobbins, and they drafted Ladd McConkey. And what have they done? They just keep winning. And Jim Harbaugh is just a great coach. I think he figures out ways to get wins. And I think this is another spot where they're going to be like, hey, the Bengals team, they're hungry. But I just think Harbaugh has a way of motivating his guys. Herbert has a way of making plays. I'll take the Chargers. I'm fading the Bengals. I'll do it. Give me the Chargers on the money line. But Logan, what do you like?
You have a compelling case for the Chargers, but I'm fading you again. I'm taking the Bengals in this spot. Really, what this game comes down to, in my opinion, is the Bengals defense, because I think their offense is actually going to be able to move the ball, put up several points. The Bengals defense has kind of been the weak spot of this team. They're letting Joe Burrow is putting up stupid numbers, and they're still losing games. They should not lose games like that. Well, now you have a less explosive Chargers team that we know what they want to do. They want to run the ball. They want to run with the Gus Bus. They want to run with Dobbins. Well, can you stop that? Can you game plan against that? I think it's a little bit easier for this Bengals team to do that. Just load up the box, please. Don't let Quentin Johnson get any explosive plays down the field. I just don't think that. I don't think the Chargers have the playmakers to be able to go blow for blow with the Bengals. The Bengals want to get into a shootout, make this game high scoring. I just think they have a little bit more firepower to do so. I like the road team Bengals in this one. Again, the Chargers playing at home. There's no home field advantage at all in Inglewood. I mean, they should have never moved even out of San Diego. But that's a different topic for a different day. This one's Bengals by 1 million.
I don't disagree with any of the points you made. I just think the Bengals find ways to lose. So we'll see how that one goes. Sunday Night Football should be a pretty good game, though. 47.5 total. That's pretty high. Hopefully, we had a pretty good one. I mean, I don't think they can set a Bengals total below like 46.5 based on what their defense is doing and their offense for good measure. And finally, we get to the best game of the week. Monday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys playing host to the Houston Texans. Now, there is that narrative going around, Logan, that teams coming off playing the Detroit Lions get absolutely cooked the next week. Now, that narrative went to rest a little bit last week because the Packers were on a bye and they were the last team that played the Lions. But with that being said, I don't know how you can get there with Cooper Rush or Trey Lance or whoever the heck they're starting at QB. But either way, I'm going to let you take the reins over for this Monday Night Football game and tell the people what you like in this. You're going to lay 7.5 with the CJ Stroud? What do you like?
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about how I could possibly
get a total in there.
No, I know. I haven't taken a single total all week long so far, and I'm not starting here. So I'm just looking at these two teams. I've said before, the Cowboys are radioactive. Don't touch them. Don't touch them with a 10-foot pole. The Cowboys are also never sharp. I don't care what the number looks like. I don't care what spot you kind of think it is. All those points being said, I'll lay the points with the Texans. I don't love it. It's definitely not my favorite pick that we've made so far. But I'll just lay the points with the Texans, kind of just hope and pray that they show up. Because last week, that's a game the Texans really should have won. I mean, they just you can't lose a game like that. That was deflating. That was demoralizing. Texans bounce back in a big way. The Cowboys are so devoid of talent, it is not even funny. The locker room's a mess. They are in shambles. I don't know how you pick Cowboys in that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there. We're trying to. I'm looking at these team totals. I don't want to. I hate this game. Sucks. If the NFL could flex games on Monday, they would. They would have flexed this game out of there once Dak went down, and then seeing what the Cowboys just did. Oh, pro for this game in Dallas. No sun in your eyes. So that's pretty good. Night game. We love that. Yeah. I can't with this team. Oh. Final wrap of the week, Logan. I'll tell you. I'll take the Texans minus 7.5. Yeah.
Chalked.
Yeah, chalked. I don't disagree. The Cowboys are probably the sharper side, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Cooper Rush, what did he throw for like 45 yards on like 26 attempts last week? He sucks. I don't mind. I don't even know. We don't have props for this game. I'd be looking at maybe like a Rico Dowdle rush attempts line, because I think based on what you saw last week, I don't know how the heck you could want him to Cooper Rush or Trey Lance to throw it. I'll take the Texans minus 7.5. I know the narrative about the Lions destroying teams. I get it. But I don't think people have watched enough of the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. The team sucks. And you're right, Logan, they have no heart on that team. They're terrible. And so I will take the Texans -7.5. Out of confidence, out of 10, where would you put that, Logan?
Like a 4.
Yeah, I was going to say about a 3. So not our favorite pick there, but we'll see how that one goes. There might be some backdoor garbage going on there. But those are favorite picks for week 11. Let's have a great week. Let's have a good week for the long shot parlay. A big week. We got Kirk Cousins. If he goes into Denver and gets a win, that should help him there. Especially if Joe Burrow, who's I think second there. Jaden Daniels on Thursday night. You guys probably know how that game went. And then TJ Watt and then Lamar Jackson. So big week for our long shot to hopefully move even closer to cash that bad boy. But there's a lot of football to be played left, Logan. Any final words before we get out of this week 11 showdown?
There are a few just bad games that I have no interest in watching, but the good games on the slate, I am so excited for. I'm so excited to watch Steelers-Ravens. I mean, the Steelers haven't played a divisional game yet. Finally, we're getting to the meat of their schedule. We're going to figure out how these teams really shake out.
Yeah, if Lamar picked up a big game in that one, like 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a Ravens victory, I bet you he moves to probably like -150 or -200 for the MVP. Yeah. He's about +100 right now. So this is a big game. That could really dictate if you want to get in on the Lamar Jackson MVP, now is the time because you will have no value if he plays well on Sunday. But those are favorite picks. We'll obviously have some more props posted on Saturday, so definitely tune into those when they are live. I'll link them on the screen. It's Austin Logan signing out. You probably want to fade those ones that Logan and I agreed on and tail the other ones. Those are all winners. Let's have a great day. See you next week. Peace.